Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 8. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show starts with Kimmy. Kimmy is in her and Maurice's new office. You guys know that they're in the real estate market, but they did a little different, okay? She said that when Maurice got his passed the bar and was able to practice law, she decided that she wanted to have a title company. Didn't want to sell real estate, but she did want to provide the titles for, specifically Black people that are able, that are trying to close on houses. They don't have any Black-owned title companies out in Huntsville, Alabama. And considering that Huntsville is the #1 city to live in, let them tell it, then I guess this is the place to be. So Maurice comes and visits her in her office. They're gonna have their first closing. Okay, good for them. Anyway, they start talking about the last meeting they had with the comeback group. Maurice feels the way that I feel, which is basically nothing got done. Okay, everybody was cordial, everybody was nice to each other, respectful and all of that, but nobody decided what was going to change. And if you keep on doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same results. Kimmy was just like, yeah, I mean, you guys, I know it was Wanda. Everybody was, concerned about Wanda, but really you guys need to get a handle of Mark. Okay, Mark is you and Marceau's responsibility. And Maurice doesn't see it that way, because the way Maurice sees it, Mark's name was inserted at the reunion when Vanessa was talking about the fact that they weren't in a relationship. That's why Mark feels like he needs to defend himself, because they're the ones that brought up his name in the first place. And so once he gets started, ain't no stopping him. Maurice was like, he been like that ever since, he was a kid. Side note, did you guys know that Maurice was the oldest? The oldest between him and Marceau. Okay, I think Mark is older than all of them, but I had no idea. I don't know why I thought Marceau was older than Maurice. He always thinking that he got to be telling people what to do. I just assumed that he was the older damn brother of the two. Anyway, Kimmy tells him, as a brother, since Mark is you guys' responsibility, it's up to you guys to really kind of not confront him, but make the effort to see where he is making this thing way worse. Okay, like Kimmy said, you were putting toxic fuel on an already very flammable moment. So he was just like, no, okay, that ain't gonna work. It's just not in them to do it. They've tried it before and it actually makes things worse. And she was like, well, you guys are going through all of these measures to make sure that you contain Wanda, but nobody is trying to contain Mark. He was like, no, it's two totally different scenarios, because Wanda is protecting or speaking up for Leticia, okay? She's inserted herself in Leticia's business, whereas Mark is actually talking about something that is personal to him. He's defending himself. But Kimmy said, he's just making it worse. Mark is making it worse, and you guys really need to try to make an effort. And Maurice was like, okay, we'll make the effort, but we already telling you it ain't gonna really work, but okay. So we see Marceau and Maurice, they meet with Mark in the park. And this is their headstrong big brother. All right, so he comes and sits down with them at the park bench. And, he was like, I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Like, what's been going on since the scruffle? And Marceau was like, yeah, that did kind of go left. That's one of the reasons why we want to talk to you today. You just getting involved in this whole big mess just makes things worse. And Mark was like, no, I'm not talking about anybody else's stuff. That y'all have y'all stuff, but I'm talking about my stuff. My stuff with Miss Vanessa. They tell him that he's flaring things up. He's making things worse. And he was like, no, I'm not really, okay? The problem is when Vanessa got onto the reunion and said what she said, he was just like, I don't take too kindly to the friend word. We were, as far as Mark is concerned, they were together. He was just like, oh, you buy friends airplane tickets to fly around. I was just like, I guess some people do that. That don't automatically make you guys a couple, although I still do believe that they were a couple. Only because on the reunion, even Mel was not trying to defend the fact that they weren't a couple. When Martell was just like, what you going to his house, driving all the way to his house? And, Mel was just like, yeah, and they got rooms together, okay? So there was definitely something there. Whether or not Miss Vanessa thought it was going to go long term, or whether or not she thought maybe Mark might be a little bit, a little bit off once she got with him, whatever it is. I guess she can call it whatever she wants to call it, but Mark doesn't like that. And so they're telling him, and Marceau in his very much Confucius, I know everything way, he starts bringing out all of these different scenarios. You know, if I throw a rock at you and then I hide behind Maurice, and then you throw a rock back at Maurice, and then somebody else comes and throws a rock at you, and they hide behind Maurice, and then you throw a rock back at Maurice, you know, you're actually hurting the wrong people. I was just like, I mean, I guess, okay, if you need to spell it out for Mark that way, then sure. But Mark was just like, I have a right to defend what I think is right, okay? She can hide behind the whole religious title and all, but that don't feel right to Mark, all right? So when people say shit about him, then he gonna defend himself. And basically, Mark is like, look, I match the energy, okay? However you come at me is the way I'm gonna come back at you. So again, Marceau tries to tell me, but you know, the things that you do to other people, it is actually affecting your brothers, their wives, your nieces, your nephews. And Mark was like, I'm not really trying to hurt you guys, but I also feel that I need to defend myself. So you know what? I'm sorry. If you gonna be disrespectful with me, then I'm gonna be disrespectful with you. Fuck you. And I was just like, well, I guess that's that. Now, jumping over to Mel, we see Mel at the house, and Kiki calls her. Hey, girl, what you doing? Oh, nothing, girl. What's going on? You know, oh, Kiki was in the neighborhood. She gonna stop by. So Mel was just like, you know, I usually talk to Kiki pretty often, but I'm not gonna lie. I've been so busy. I haven't talked to her in a minute, so. And she gonna put her to work. Got to get this packaging done for one of Mel's products. I was like, that's right, Mel. You better show off your product, girl. Use this platform to the fullest. So Kiki gets over there, and it's still just funny to me that Mel is trying to get us to believe that her and Kiki are friends, okay? Like that, okay? They might be acquaintances and cordial and everything, but I still don't believe the friendship. Anyway, we got a show to shoot, right? So when Kiki gets there, and after she shows her how to package up the stuff, Mel tells her what happened at the little scruffle the other day and how, you know, Wanda was going crazy and they got into a big mess over the things that were said on social media. She's telling her that it went really, really bad. The police was called and everything. So Mel is telling her after that, the six got together, the original six, they got together, and she felt like the meeting went well, okay? It's just that some people still want to play boo-boo the fool. You know, they got up there, oh no, I didn't know that happened. She said, what, who did that? Who did this? Okay, no, you know that your mama was over there running her mouth. Don't act like you don't know what the hell is going on. Like, stop it now. Everybody is on social media. Everybody sees what happens on social media. So they have agreed that they are going to not talk about each other in social media. Definitely not the kids. And Kiki was like, oh yeah, well, I understand. You know, it's a difficult place to be though, because Wanda is her aunt. However, she had a little, you know, a little confrontation with the Scotts the last time she was with them. Remember when they was down in their hometown and they had that Miss Wanda was cooking and letting everybody taste the food? Okay, well, she had a little something go down there. So she starts telling Mel how she was trying to address what she was trying to address. Okay, there were some things going around in the family and she felt she needed to talk to them about it, and Marceau tried to blackmail her, shut her whole shit down. So we get the clip when Marceau was just like, go on and say it. If you say it, I'm gonna burn this whole thing down, you know, all of that. We never could understand why Marceau was that upset. Okay, it was just like you didn't really had a strange reaction to her, especially if she was about to tell us what she told us talking to Mel at the time. But we'll never know what was supposed to be said there. However, while she's sitting there talking to Mel, you know, we finally get her side. You guys tried to tell me that it was because she had roaches in the house and, you know, the people, she was embarrassed about that. And I was just like, that don't seem like something that, you know, but anyway, turns out it was none of that. What it turned out to be was Kiki had gotten, you know, like temporarily addicted to painkillers. And so as addictions go, you know, as she was trying to make sure she had the pills to take, she started taking them when she would go over people's house. She'd go to their bathroom. She'd check to see if they had them in the medicine cabinet. And if they did, she would just steal a few pills. Nothing so that they would notice, but she would just steal some. But I guess it got so bad that people started to realize that she was stealing their shit. So it was going around. So when Leticia and Marceau went over to Mel and Martell's house, I guess they told her. Mel said that they were laughing about it like, oh, you know, you better hide your stuff and all of this. You know, what can you say? At this time, of course, Mel is going to make it seem like Marceau and Leticia were laughing about it. I mean, Mel and Martell might have been laughing about it at the same time. Okay, but let me ask you guys, how would you feel if you knew, even if it was a family member, if you knew that somebody was coming over and they had some theft, you know, if they had some ways of stealing shit? Don't you feel like if you didn't let the person or persons know whose house they were coming over, that if something did happen, then everybody might have been upset with Leticia and Marceau for not letting Mel and Martell know, like, okay, she has a problem. It's some thievery going on. Okay. It was sort of like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of position. Even though Kiki says that by the time she was coming to that party, she had been out of rehab. She was fine. And, you know, there was no reason for them to tell Mel and Martell what had happened. That is true too, you know, but I mean, maybe they were just being cautious. There's really no way to tell how they were being at the time. Okay, they could have been being messy, or they could have just been like, listen, she has an issue. You just might want to make sure you stay aware. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, that's what the problem was with the business. Every time, you know, it was like, Kiki, you telling my personal business. It wasn't about roaches. It was about painkiller addiction. So that's why Kiki was mad, because she felt like they were taking more time to bash her instead of supporting her as a family member, as Kiki and Leticia are very close and all of that. And she didn't want them to tell her business, obviously. Mel, that type of betrayal is tough, you know, coming from a family member. That was a long time ago, girl, so we ain't gonna worry about it. Mel tells Kiki. It's a different day, different age. And Kiki says now she wants to help other women that have addiction struggles as well. And so that's what her new mission is. So good for her. I'm glad to see that Kiki is off whatever painkiller she was addicted to. Kiki looks good. So I'm feeling like she probably is still being able to stay sober. Good for her. Now, let's jump over to Destiny, you guys, child. I just don't know why Destiny's on the show. Like, I don't dislike Destiny, but it's just sort of like, girl, you're not giving nothing. You just giving mad and bitter Betty like every single time you're on the camera. It's such a bad look. She has to be looking back at this season and just being like, yeah, I'm not really the most like. She has to see it herself because she just can't get out of this motion. Anyway, her and Leticia go out, you know, and after they see each other, you know, hey girl, hey, you look good, hey girl, you know, all of that. We sit down and we're talking. Okay, Leticia wanted to make sure that Destiny was okay. So how's everything been? Destiny says, oh, you know, it's been a little challenging because, you know, she's seeing this guy, Moses, and he lives in, is it St. Louis or Detroit? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, you guys, but wherever she's from, I think it's Detroit. He lives there, so when she goes there to visit, you know, he wants her to be in wifey mode, cooking and all. But she feels like this is her vacation. She's getting away from the hustle and bustle of, you know, everyday mom life, cooking every day for her kid, you know, and trying to run her business and do whatever she's doing in Huntsville. So when she goes to visit him, she feels like she shouldn't have to do all of those things. And Moses is like, every time you come out, you know, out here, you don't want to cook, but when you be home, you cooking all the time. She's like, yeah, you know, Leticia, that's because it's a vacation. You know, it ain't a vacation for Moses. He trying to figure out if he gonna wipe this woman up for real, for real. You coming out here and he got to be spending all his money. But I don't blame her. It's like, I don't feel like cooking when I come visit you every time. Let's go out to eat. Okay, date me. So, I mean, I understand, but we're going to see how that thing play out with her and Moses. Like, the fact that she told us that, it kind of make me feel like maybe that one ain't going to last either. So anyway, while they're sitting there talking, Leticia brings up the event and how she was at a 10. You know, she feels, you know, I hate that negativity was at your event. Destiny was like, yeah, like, I just, first of all, she was mad that Stormy and Mel was there. And she feels like if it would have been one of their things, then it wouldn't have gone that way. They didn't even respect her enough to, you know, even if it was a public affair, it was just sort of like they didn't respect her enough to keep the drama away. Leticia said, well, you know, at least you got a nice bag. And Destiny was just like, I didn't really need the bag though, okay? the whole thing is, if we got businesses and she has something that I could sell, like, can I sell your product in my store? You know, can we work together that way? You know, even though Stormy did come correct, Destiny said, you know, she said that she did come correct and all. It's just that she can't, you know, words, apology is just a word for her. Okay, you apologize and that's that. But she feels like the actions is what actually shows whether or not a person is sincere. Well, you know, her and Stormy, nobody's had a chance to really show anything different at this point. So she's willing to give Stormy a try, but not so much Mel. Okay, Leticia was just like, I was just laughing how, you know, you had said that she needed to escort you out like she did me when, you know, back then. And I was like, how I get in this? and Destiny was just like, I was just bringing up a point. Like, you know, they came to my shit. I should have had her taken out the same way she did you. She talking about that I'm trying to have a moment. Like, I wish I would have said that I am the moment. Like, this is my moment. Yeah, girl, you had many opportunities to do things differently and you didn't. Okay, just sat up there with old sourpuss face and couldn't express yourself as a fucking grown ass woman. Just mad. Anyway, she went to Stormy's warehouse, and Leticia was like, see, you guys are getting better. She was just like, I mean, I wouldn't say that we like ace boom coons yet, but I mean, at least we might be moving in the best direction. You know, she said Stormy told her that she wanted to have a get together and have all of the girls come, including Mel, and I told her that, you know, if she wanted me and her to be able to move forward, it would be best to leave me and Mel alone. So Leticia starts telling her how the comeback group, the original six, got together, and Mel was trying to make it seem like Wanda was the one that was always bringing the drama, but Leticia was just like, hold up, like, we not gonna make it seem like it's just my mom, like, you both say things, you know, you guys both go back and forth. Okay, so they agreed to set boundaries. They are not going to comment on each other's situations on social media. She was just like, she knows her and Marcel can do it. All right, but she's not too sure about her mom. She's a little concerned about whether or not Miss Wanda can stick to what the six have agreed to. Well, see, that's the problem. Same problem they have with Mark. You can't control the other people. All right, Mark ain't even on the show, so Mark is really gonna do what he wanna do. But as far as Wanda's concerned, she's in a strange place because she's the one that brings the draw of the drama on the show. So I'm sure from a producer standpoint, they like Wanda because she's the one that keeps the mess going. However, you also got her kid and her husband and other people complaining about her. She's a problem, okay? So either control that fucking mouth of hers or she gotta go. And see, that's where the problem is. Leticia is not gonna wanna kick her mother off of the show, period, because I just told you guys, this is a check, okay? At the end of the day, this is money. So when we start saying, okay, she gotta go, then that means that Miss Wanda is not gonna have this job, this income, and all of that. So it's a lot of other reasons that, of course, we're not gonna talk about here, but it's a lot of other reasons why nobody is willing to just say, okay, Wanda gotta go. That's what the problem is. Anyways, Leticia and Marcel are having a party for their youngest daughter. It's going to be, you know, close friends and family. So they're going to talk to Miss Wanda there and see if they can come to some sort of agreement there. I was like, good luck. So at the baby's birthday party, this is their youngest. I believe they said she is turning 7. I think her name is Little Mila. Like I said, close friends, family. We see, of course, Maurice and Kimmy show up and other people are there. And the little girl looks like she's having a good time at her party. It's hot as hell because it's the summertime and it's Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm sure if it's anything like Atlanta, it's hot as fuck, you know. So they had a birthday cake and, you know, apparently they had left the cake in the car. So the cake was all halfway melting. It had like that harder, you know, the cake, what is it? The icing. It looks like that kind that's kind of like, it's harder, so it keeps it a little bit more together. But when they cut it, you know, you can see that it was like falling apart. They sing happy birthday to the little girl and everything, fine. Miss Wanda get that, hey, my babies, how y'all doing? You know, she was just like, y'all sung happy birthday without me? They was like, yep, okay. So after we cut the cake up for the little kids and send the kids off, Now this is the perfect time for Miss Wanda and Marisol and Leticia to have a conversation. And Marisol tells us that it's a conversation that they need to have. Okay, we're going to be respectful to Miss Wanda, but we're also going to be very clear on the intentions of the group and what we agreed to at the meeting. So they tell her, you know what, we met with the group and we about to have a agreement where we're setting boundaries. And Miss Wanda right away is just like, but see, I ain't said nothing about the baby. I said, who's your last baby's daddy? I ain't said nothing about Melanie's. I kept on saying, when she went on, I was just like, okay, first of all, it's Melody, not Melanie, okay? And Miss Wanda was like, she always talking about the way that I talk. She always saying something about the way that I talk. First, she gonna get her name right. That's what we know. But Miss Wanda was just like, I came up to her nicely. Okay, I didn't say, here come this bitch coming to talk to me. You know, she came up to me and I said, how you doing, Melanie's? I didn't say. So they was just like, okay, listen, we want to make sure that you don't talk about them at all, because what happens is you pull everybody else in it. It's not just you and Mel, it's now everybody else gets involved and it turns into a big mess. That is why we're setting these boundaries. Wanda was just like, well, you know what? I'm just like the wind babies. Well, when you talk about me, if you say something to me, you better not be in my face because I'm a blow. I'm like some paper, you know. I was just like, I don't think Miss Wanda is soaking any of this in. So Miss Wanda's whole thing is don't talk about me. If you talk about me and mine, then I'm gonna talk about you. Same thing that Mark was saying. And Marisol is still trying to rationalize with Miss Wanda. It ain't working though. Yeah, Miss Wanda just don't see it that way. Leticia was just like, I need you to know that whenever something go on, I know how to handle it. What is that? Okay. She don't need Miss Wanda to be stepping in anymore and protecting her. She knows what she can say and how she needs to handle things when it comes to Mel or anybody else. Okay, so we don't need you. This is the first time that she actually has point blank said, stop trying to defend me. I can do it myself. And so Miss Wanda was like, so what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to apologize to Melanie's or what you want? No, we don't need you to apologize because what's been done is done. Okay, that's in the past. We moving forward. From here on out, do not talk about the kids. And Miss Wanda was just like, see, I can't do the fake thing. Like, if you talk about mine, I'm going to talk about yours. Don't talk about mine and then it won't be nothing to talk about. You know, she ain't gonna say nothing if you don't say nothing. Okay, same thing like Mark said, honey. That went in one ear and right out the other. I mean, I think Wanda is gonna try very hard not to have to deal with the kids or say anything about the kids. I think maybe she realized that she needs to leave that shit alone. But as far as the grown-ups, I think that Miss Wanda is still gonna do what she do. So after they have the conversation, you know, Marisol was telling her how much they love her and all of that, and he's hugging her, and she's just like, get off me. You know, I got a love-hate thing with Marisol. You know, quit pulling me so close. I don't want to smell your chest. It stank. Okay, your titties stank. I don't know what they gonna do about Miss Wanda, but the lady ain't going nowhere. That's kind of how I feel. How do you feel? Anyway, let me get off of here, get this edited, and up to you. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.